Yeah. Workshop, and it's first year of your marriage. Is the worst. But when, they because when you get married, you tend to change, and the color of your hair changes, and lots of stuff changes. So the first year, usually for most marriages, most relationships, is the best year. For us, it wasn't. Why? Because we learned to just face what we were doing and work really hard at it. So I'm going to, in this discussion today, let's see how we can go. I'll try to release us at latest at 8:30. So that's about an hour from now. We may go a little bit earlier than that, but not for sure not later than 8:30. What I would like us to cover in this next couple of minutes, or less than an hour, or about an hour, is how is your most significant relationship right now? Because I know some of us are not married, and I still want you to find out how you are doing relationship-wise. Then we're going to talk about what is true love, what is unconditional love. We're going to talk about what is false love, that's conditional love, and why is there such a lack of true love around, and how can I begin to love truly? We're going to talk about those things. Now, the first thing now is how is your relationship? I'd like you to take a pen or take your phone, take this test for yourself. It's not for me, it's for yourself, just to see how you are doing in your relationship. I discovered that the reason why many people are not improving in their relationship is that they do not know how they are doing. When we go to school, you do a course and you get a C grade. You know that, well, there's B and there's A, and in some schools there's A plus and A minus. So if you get a C grade, it means there's need for improvement. But if you don't know the grading system and you're not grading yourself, you may assume that you are doing okay. So what I would like you to do is those questions that are up there, I would like you to grade them. The first one, do you feel that you can talk about what is bothering you freely with your partner? So if you're married, use your marriage. If you're not, and you're in a relationship, use that. And if you're not in any relationship, but you choose one of your relationships that's most significant to you, and check. Do you feel that you can talk about what is bothering you freely with your partner on a scale of 1 to 10? Where 1 is never. I cannot tell them what I'm feeling. They'll just use it against me. They just eat my head off. That's 1. Where 10 is for sure. I can tell them everything. Doesn't matter. Nothing's going to happen. Just going to take it in their steps. So on a scale of 1 to 10, just write the number down. Put it on your phone or write on a sheet of paper. We're going to add them up. Second one is your partner, your best friend. 1 is no. How can my husband or my wife be my best friend? Never. We are enemies. Oh, yes, I've met people who are married. They are still married. They're not even divorced. And they are enemies. That man is my enemy. I just wish he would divorce me. He is causing me a hell of a problem. Yes, that's how she put it. And so if that is the case, write 1. And it could have been 0, but it's not 0 because you're not divorced. So write 1 there. Now, if my husband or my spouse or my friend, whoever you're talking about, is my best friend, that's, if you're with them, you have your best friend with you. That's 10. That's 10. How often does your partner appreciate you? So very often, every day, all the time, 10. Never. You can't remember the last time he said thank you, or you're beautiful, or I really appreciate what you've done. You can't remember. You can't. 1. How often do you appreciate your partner? The same thing, but this time your own score. I know you're going to rate yourself higher than it's true, but that's all right. Nobody really evaluates themselves correctly. You have to really, really, really be critical. It's really hard to be objective about oneself. But you can try. So just try your best. Can you be sad, make mistakes, be needy without harsh judgment? You know, if you make a mistake, you know, you're doing something, you know, maybe a guest is there and mistakenly you spill the juice on your guest. What's going to happen? If you know that's the end of your week, you're going to hear it all week long. You're so clumsy, you're so messed up, blah, blah, blah. Then that's one. And if it's, you know, no problem, it happens, joins hands with you, helps you to clear the mess, make it well, make it right, then that's 10. How often do you play together, not pray? You know, say, this guy is a pastor, you should talk about praying. I've seen people who pray together and hate themselves. They don't like each other, but they could pray. Now, it's a joke, that's not prayer. But I like play. Play is hard. It's harder to play with someone that you don't really like unless you're aiming to kill them. So, how often do you play together? How often do you just hang out and just do some funny stuff together? If we've never done that, we don't do it again. Not in the last 1 year. That's one. If it's every day. As often as I like it, I'm satisfied with the amount of play we do. That's 10. So you want to quickly add all that together and see what you've got. Add all that together and see what you've got. And then in a few minutes, we're going to, in a couple of minutes, we're going to reveal what the scores are. Are you ready? Everybody ready? Yes? Yes? Let me see some signs that you're done. Yes? Yes? Good stuff. Good. Okay, so let's get it up there. Yeah, if you have 55 to 60, that's really good. I don't know if it's that good. Maybe you're just the type that likes to close your eyes and just write everything good. But it's possible. It is possible. So I'm not going to discredit it completely. It's possible. It's nothing. It's not impossible. So if you have that, then you're good. And the fact that you're here shows that it's possible. You see, people who invest in their relationship have higher percentage of being up there. It's just how it works. The people who do this are the ones who are up there. That's why they are up there. And so it's good if you're here, even though you're up there on that high thing. Now, 50 to 55 is very good. Keep growing, Very good, keep growing. 40 to 50, good. But let's work on some weak points. Study some more, make some effort. 30 to 40, it's time to really sit up and start talking to someone. Start talking to someone. 20 to 30, you need to get support today. Today, don't wait another day. If you're still together, then 0 to 20, well, you know what to do. So let's get to this. If now you know where you are, if you've done that, the reason why that's necessary because somehow you would not be able to make the necessary effort that is required if you don't know that there's a need. If you think you're okay and everything is well, of course you came here today, so I'm sure you think that there's something to be done, but you may have come here thinking that all is well. I remember when I was coming to Canada, in the year 2000, year 2000, and in Canada, before you come to Canada to study, you need to do a medical checkup, and that in 2000 I was how old was I now? 25. Yes, 25 years old, and I went for a checkup, and my blood pressure was high. Now I would never have known that was happening if I didn't do a checkup. I felt very good. And thank God I did when I was quite young, so all I needed to do is adjust my lifestyle. So let's take this seriously and let's work on it. So we're going to start. Why are you unhappy? Why is the marriage not working? Why is the relationship not working? That's an interesting thing there. Say, hey man, I have a problem. Yeah. My father always says, you could just dance your problem away. My problem is you dancing all the time. Yeah. Okay, so the key is that the problem is not your spouse or your friend or your partner. The problem is really not the other person. You it's the real problem is that you're not receiving true love. That's the problem. You're not being loved the way you were designed to be loved. And you also, because you don't have enough love, you are not loving people around you the way they should be loved. You're not loving them unconditionally, and they are not loving you unconditionally, and there's this big cycle that is going on and on and on, and nobody is really loving anybody. You know, we talk a lot about love, we sing a lot about love, we pretend that we love, we watch love scenes in every movie, even in the kids one now. So we think we know about love, but we don't. We understand counterfeit love. And I began to think about this and research these things because I found in scriptures that Jesus was focused on love. You know, Jesus was really, really focused on love. And I began to think way back that if one can really understand love and really grasp it, life is going to be very good. So I'm just going to show you a few scriptures that really got my mind thinking, and then I'll move it forward. The first one is 1 John chapter 4, verse 7 to 8. I'm just going to, you should see it on the screen. It says, "Dear friends, let us continue to love one another, for love comes from God. Anyone who loves is a child of God and knows God, but anyone who does not love does not know God, for God is love." And that's harsh stuff there. That's big stuff there. If you don't love, you don't know God. So when I see such scriptures, I can't just skip over them. I want to know, why would this happen? And that's how Jesus taught this. John, one of the apostles of Jesus, then I was, let me see what the other apostles are saying. So I looked at Peter. Here Peter says, verse 7 of 1 Peter chapter 4, "The end of the world is coming soon. Therefore, be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for one another, for love covers a multitude of sins." So I discover again that, look, this is an apostle, this is another apostle, and he's thinking above everything, even above prayer, love. And so I moved on. Let's look at Paul, the apostle, another apostle. And he talks about, I'm not going to read all of it. He says, "If I could speak all languages of the earth and of angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy, and if I understood all of God's secret plans, possessed all knowledge, if I had such faith that I could move mountains, but didn't love others, I would be nothing." So you see, love is very, very, very foundational to who we are and who God wants us to be. And so if we could master this, we are in a good place. And so the question now is, what is true love? What is true love? What is unconditional love? What is it? How do we understand it? I just want you to imagine this. Imagine if everywhere you go, you are being cared for, you know, regardless of who you are, what you have or don't have, what you do or what don't do, how handsome or beautiful you are, you just get care. And that feels good. You know, you enter into this place, someone comes and says, "Welcome. How are you? Where do you want to say?" Bring you to your seat, and they say, "Would you like a cup of water?" And, you know, a glass, a bottle of juice or what. You sit down, and they care for you. Not because you pay them anything, because they care for you. That's what we want. That's what we're all looking for. That's what everybody's waiting for. And it's available, but very rarely, you know. They think, regardless, the point there is regardless of who you are, to still be cared for. Now, to be treated with respect at all times. To be treated with respect at all times, regardless of whether you are smart or not. Or if you do a stupid thing, still to be respected. That's what we want. That's what we need. And if we continue to look at it, if we can get that from anywhere, most of us are willing to pay whatever price. If you can get true love, you will be willing to pay the price for it. So what again is true love? Is to receive the best that the people around you have without caring if you reciprocate or not. You know, you want to get my best, whether I give it back to you, whether you have to give to me or not. So this is what we all want. And what I'm trying to ask us and to think about this weekend is that, is it possible? Is it possible? Can we really have this love? Let's look at other things that are coming up. Just give me the other 2 points. Can I get? Yeah. So now, lack of unconditional love leaves us fearful. If we are not loved well, what happens? We begin to protect ourselves. You discover that you go somewhere and you check yourself so that you don't get hurt. But the more unconditional love you get, the more love you give. Imagine if you come here and we treat you so well and everything is going well, and then while this thing is going on, suddenly you drop, or your phone starts ringing, and I come to you and I say, you know, you're going to feel angry. You're going to feel shocked. Because I've been loving you all the while, just because your phone went off, I'm ready to hit you. Now, why would you not like that? Because you want to be loved whether you make mistakes or not. Whether you are nice or not nice, you want to be loved. Of course, you're going to try your best to be nice, but you're not going to succeed at all times. And so this is the problem. Our problem is that nobody really is able to love you completely unless you do what they want you to do for them. The last point. Unconditional love exists. You can receive the happiness that comes from being loved like this. Now, there are people that have told me, no, it doesn't exist. It cannot. No human can love unconditionally. But I want to tell you, we can. We can love unconditionally. It's available to us. We can receive help and begin to love. Now, the Bible says that God is love, so if you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus, then Jesus can help you to love unconditionally. It is the goal that we must go for. If we go for it, we're going to enjoy it. So now, what is conditional love? Let's look at that before we move forward. What is conditional love? Conditional love is now becoming, what unconditional love is not, before I go to what conditional love is, it's not becoming a doormat for everyone, okay? So I'm not saying you just do what everybody wants. It's not approving everything that other people do. It's not being emotionally involved with everyone. Someone has asked me that before. How can you possibly love everybody? Yeah, because we define love as emotional attachment or being sympathetic to another person's behavior. Not necessarily, you know. To be sympathetic to another person's behavior is not the same thing as loving them. You can love someone without liking what they're doing, without agreeing with what they're doing. So love is caring for them and wanting their best, desiring the best for them, regardless of who they are. It is not being responsible for all that the other person wants. Neither is it refraining from what will make the other person unhappy. Okay? Example is someone wants to be addicted to a drug and ask you to please get it for them. Now, loving them is not getting it for them. Loving them is saying, no, I'm not going to get it for you. Okay? So now, what is conditional love? Care and attention we receive only when we do what others want. Care and attention we receive only when we do what others want. Respect that we enjoy because we are behaving in ways that others approve or desire. And finally, help that we receive with the hope of it being reciprocated. And I discovered that this is what we have been doing in most of our relationships. That's why a guy meets a girl and they like each other. Like we saw in the video clip, they like each other. The guy likes the girl likes the guy. They enjoy their time together. And as long as they are doing what each other wants, they will be happy. But the moment one person begins to do what you don't want, there's a problem. When one person begins to say, no, I don't like that, then there's a reaction. And that reaction is what begins to destroy the relationship. So it's conditional. Once you discover that there is a condition for the good that you're doing, it's conditional love. And we must resist conditional love because it's fake. It doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel as good. So let's look at some expressions and see if you recognize those expressions. Okay, the girl, what expression is that? Someone says anger, is that correct? Disgust, yes. Anger, yes. The other one, sadness. Sadness. So it's not necessarily what we say. Sometimes our faces, our behaviors, our disposition can show some of these things. And we pick them right from when we're young, right? We pick them from right from when we're young. When you're growing up, you can sense your parents, when you do wrong, they change their faces, their reaction changes. And you learn from those reactions that if I do what my mom wants, then my mom loves me. If I don't do what my mom wants, my mom doesn't love me. If I have good grades, my dad loves me. If I don't have good grades, my dad or my mom doesn't love me. If I break some things in the home, like the TV, nobody loves me. If I don't break them, then I'm loved. So we learn all that, and because we have learned all those conditions, we bring them into our relationships. And so if you're going to have very solid, strong relationships, you must learn to remove those conditions and love regardless of them. And so I'm just telling you that it's not going to become automatic because you've learned it from when you were young, to base your love on conditions. So your husband goes out, comes back late, he didn't call. He's supposed to be there at 5, and you've been calling him. He didn't call. By the time he comes back, you're ready to, give it to him real bad. Why? Because you wonder, why would you do that? Now, and many times, that's what happens. The husband comes in, and before he could explain anything, he gets it. And then he gets angry and give it back, sometimes double portion. And so the relationship starts going downwards. Not because there's anything wrong. These things happen. It could have been that his phone went off. He didn't charge it. Yes, that's his phone. But he should have, and he didn't, and he couldn't call. But never get the opportunity to say that. Because there's a condition. The condition is that I will love you if you think about me, if you make sure that I'm not panicking all the time. Now, I'm not saying what the husband did is right, but I'm saying that there is a condition for love. There's a condition for care. There's a condition. And we want to take out the condition and build the love instead. So, moving up. How do we, what are the expressions of this conditional love? Because that's what we're used to. We're used to it. We like it. We crave it. So we crave praise. For example, we want to be praised. Everybody likes to be praised. Nobody would like to be in a room full of people and then they say to you, you are the worst of all of them. No. You want someone to come and say, we've never seen a guy that works the computer like this guy. He's such a good computer guy. Or when someone comes to you and says, we've seen this guy. Just anytime you need a camera, talk to this girl. She's the best with cameras. Or someone says, you stand up there and say, oh yeah, have you seen any person more beautiful than this woman? No, we want that. That's what we want, praise. Everybody wants to be praised. However, we don't have to buy it. So we love to be praised. And so conditional love expresses itself in praise, expresses itself in power. Power to control others, power to make people do whatever you want them to do. Pleasure, to do whatever you want of those, feel good. Safety also. All these things, they are good, they are not bad, but where the problem comes is that we try to get them. We work hard to get them. We try to pay for them. We try to pay for them. So now, how do we pay to get someone to love us? So conditional love is love that is based on a condition. Unconditional love is love that is based on nothing. It's just there. Conditional love is what we get everywhere. It's easy to get. Unconditional love is difficult to get. And we need we need love. We must have love or else we'll starve to death. That's just the truth. We're designed to be loved. If there's no love, we can't survive it. It's going to kill us. So we must have love. So what do? We go for the easy one. That's how we design. That's how we need love. I need love. You need love. We all need love. So what do? We buy it because it's easier to get. But it doesn't feel as good. So you get to a place, you meet a girl, you want her to like you. So what do? You buy her a gift. And she likes you, or is the guy the same way you buy him a gift. And he likes you and is happy that you bought him a gift. Do you know that next time you have to buy a better gift for the love to continue to be purchased? If you're going to be buying it, you got to be paying better every time, because what's happening is that the people get used to this level of love. So you buy it. And some people, they buy it with other things. They buy it with, with alcohol. Because when you get very, very, very drunk, you can say what you want, and then after you say what you want, you can do what you want, and some get into other things. People get chasing money, they look for money at all costs so that they can have a lot of money, and when they have a lot of money, they have power. They can control stuff, and they can do whatever they want, and they think then all those people are loving them. But you know what? It's not true. If they don't have that money, every one of those people disappear. And so what's happening is we do things in our lives, anything we can do to get this conditional love. Conditional love. So the first one I'm going to highlight before we move on is lying. Lying. We lie. That's the easiest one. To buy love, we lie. What's lying? What do I mean by lying? You tell what is not true about yourself. You want to go visit your girlfriend, so you borrow your friend's car. And you drive, because you have a car, but it's too old. So you borrow your friend's new one to make you look a little bit better. That's all right, but just tell the truth that it's borrowed. Say to her, it's borrowed. I only brought it because I won't want you to get stuck in the middle of the highway. I can deal with that if I'm alone. So that's all right if you borrow that way. But if you borrow to impress her, to make her like you, then you know what? You're going to have to buy a car quickly if you're going to keep that relationship. So lying. And in some cases, we're used to, being together, in a group of friends, and some friends love this, and some friends love that, and everybody say, I just like wine, I like wine, just this, I don't drink wine. So imagine I'm in a group, and they say, I like wine, and they say, what about you? Which one do you like? I like any wine, because you don't want to look different. Oh, I like movies. Maybe you hate movies. But everybody's saying, I like movies. Then, you find yourself saying, me too. Or they ask you, ask you a question. Nobody. Sometimes it's so bad, we're so hungry for love that there's absolutely no reason to lie. You still lie. You just lie, just because you want to look a little bit better than you are. Are you getting what I'm saying? And that's because I just want you to know that the reason why you do that is because you want to be loved. You want to be respected. You want to be elevated. For example, I'm wearing this suit, and you come to me and say, wow, nice suit. How many of those do you have? Imagine if it's a $2,000 suit, and I say, just 6. And it feels good, Maybe that's the only one I have. You don't know when you say, maybe 2 or 3. Why? You want to, the person has already lifted you up, Or you say, I bet you have like 4 of those, right? So they put you in a spot. I bet you have like 4 of those nice shoes, right? Yeah. Lying. Why do we do that? We want to be respected. We love the feeling of respect and of love. It's like that. Even in marriage, the same thing occurs. You don't want to look bad to your spouse. You don't want to be a weakling, and so you bring all that stuff up. So lying, attacking is the next one I want to talk about. Attacking, anger, attacking the other person. You use it to buy love. You attack them. So someone comes home and for example, like the illustration I gave, he didn't call. Then you just attack. Why can't you call? You are just a very wicked person. I've been suffering, blah, blah, blah. You just give it to them real loud, real hard. You attack them. What are you attacking them for? You want them to love you. You want to buy some love. But, when you buy them, they're conditional love. It's not good. It's not going to last long. We buy love by attacking other people. Every form of anger is a form of buying love. Every outburst is wanting to buy love. And every feeling of anger, even if there's no outburst, every feeling of anger is a cry out that I'm not being loved. And that I want to find a way to force this person to love me right now. Once you don't even need to burst out. Once anger is rising up, that's what's happening. This guy's messing my show up, and I want to make them not mess my show up anymore. I have a plan. I have a place I want to go to. They're blocking my way, and I want to remove them. That's what anger is. And when there's an outburst, then there's a bind. You're trying to control the other person to love you. You're saying, you must love me. You must love me. And you know that it doesn't feel good because you won't go put a gun to someone's head and say, I love you. Say, I love you. Say, I love you. Now, does it feel any good? You know? Even if you didn't know that the person has a gun behind his back, and he's been coming around you saying, I love you, and then one day you discover there was a gun. Someone was putting a gun over, blackmailing him to say, I love you. You don't feel any love anymore. As long as it's not coming unconditionally, it doesn't feel good. We're not designed to buy love. And so that's another thing that happens. The next point is acting like a victim. So some people like to do that. They act like a victim. You don't care about me. You don't even see me anymore. I'm blind. I'm lost now. You know, I'm invisible now. I'm invisible. You know, I'm the one doing all these things. Nobody cares to help me. Blah blah blah. Acting like a victim. Why? You want to buy love. You want to buy it. And we do it. That's how it's been. You know, we've been buying this stuff, but every year you buy it, the price goes higher. Every year you buy love, the price goes higher. Then running is another one. Running. How do you do running? You just disconnect. You withdraw. You don't talk. How are you today? How was work today? You know? Running. So they chase after you and say, please, what's going on? What's going on? Please, what's going on? You know, I need to hear from you. You are so precious to me. What's going on? Yes, my dear. Hey, buying. You're trying to buy love. It doesn't feel good when you buy. Clinging is the last one. Clinging is when you just do everything to hold on, you know. You keep buying gifts, you keep giving bribes, and, you know, just don't let me go. Don't let go of me. Don't let go of me. I'll do whatever you want kind of thing. I'll do whatever you want. Many girls have suffered in the hands of wicked men, and many men have suffered in front of wicked girls. When you know they love the relationship, they like the feeling of being needed, and those people ruin their lives by commanding them to do things that they never wanted to do, but just because they want to keep feeling accepted. Keep feeling accepted. All of that doesn't last. It doesn't last. We all been there. So what I'm saying is not brand new to you. We've all been there. It doesn't last. What I'm here to say is, no, let's resist that. Let's get a brand new way. Disadvantage of these behaviors, one, the effect is temporary. The effect is temporary. It doesn't last. It doesn't last. Now, we need to get more to feel the same level of love next time, and then it prevents us from feeling unconditional love when we get it. It prevents us from feeling unconditional love when we get it. I'll explain that. When you try to buy love, for example, if I'm coming to you, and I'm coming with a gift. You know, maybe I've come to visit you twice, and I'm coming the third time, and this time I'm coming with a gift. I already bought the gift, I packaged it, and I'm bringing it in my bag. And then as soon as you see me, you say, you guy, you are here again. And each time you've come, you can't even think of buying water. Or even an apple. Don't they sell apples around you? Just bring an apple and say, my friend, here's an apple. Now, if I go back to my car and bring my gift, she will never feel the love. That's what that girl was saying, you know. When she said, you know, what about my clothes? He says, I like it, and it's good. And then he says, why don't you say I'm pretty? He says, I'm pretty. But he said, I don't understand. It doesn't count. I already told you to say it. When you buy love, when you really meet real love, you wouldn't recognize it. It doesn't feel that good. It doesn't feel that good. And so I want to stop there, take some questions. So I know that we get it all this way up to this point, and we're on the same page. And then after the questions, we'll get into 2 laws as we begin to talk about how do I now change from unconditional love to conditional love. No, sorry, from conditional love to unconditional love. Because you may be discovering that most of the love that you have been showing is conditional. Maybe you just seen that. How you've been dealing with friends, how you've been dealing with family, how you've been dealing with your spouse is mostly conditional. You do this, I'm okay with you. Don't do it, that's it. No, someone comes to ask you, why do you like why are you married to this? Why do you like this guy that you're going to get married to? Any answer you give is wrong answer. Because it's a condition. Say, because I like her smile, then it's a condition. If he doesn't have that smile, what happens? And you say, she's very smart. Okay, so what if she's not that smart anymore? Oh, there are things that can happen to someone that they don't get that smart anymore. You know? So there's no good answer to that question. Why do you like this? Why are you in this marriage? You know? It's because I mean it. I love them, that's it. I've committed to love them. Okay, so let's go to questions. We'll take a few questions. You have a mic? Yes, anybody that has a question, or you can write down your question. Sometimes this kind of question, for us to really get the most out of this type of discussion is for people to be able to write even their own personal experiences in their questions, of course, anonymously. But it would be better if you write it. I'll just read it from here. But for now, if there are people that have some questions that you want to ask, or you want me to clarify before we move on to how to begin to navigate. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about navigating the relationship between a man and a woman. Very important, very important. There is a difference. Men and women are not the same. Obviously, they are not the same. So we're going to look at that. How do you navigate that? But today I want to really break down conditional love. How do we get in the remaining second part of this? How do we really begin to love? There are 2 laws. We need to sit on those laws, get them into our system, work them over and over again, and start working on them. Now, you may think I've heard all this before, but the thing is, practicing it is different. And so I encourage you, ask your questions. If not, go practice, and I'm sure you have questions tomorrow. Yeah? Questions? Yes? Anybody? If they're written down, yeah, no? If, yeah? Questions? Questions? Take a minute for people to collect their thoughts. We have just about 30 more minutes.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you, because we talked about unconditional love, but then you mentioned something about protecting yourself. How do you draw the line between actually not being the doormat and not accepting everything, being respected, and not falling into just loving unconditionally? Conditionally, sorry.
Okay, yeah, so how do you love and not become a doormat? That's it. How do you make sure that as you're attempting to love people unconditionally, they don't just ride all over you? Well, the first step is to determine within your heart that you're going to love them, and then you can speak up. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't like that. There's nothing wrong with it. What you just do in your heart is that while you are saying it, you're not trying to control them. You give them the right to continue to do it. And you also give yourself the right to deal with it, how you will deal with it if they continue to do it. That's how it is. So if someone comes and each time we have a meeting, I say, let's meet at 2 o'clock, and they show up at 2:45. Okay? So I wait for them the first day. They show up 2:45, and I say, hey, when I have a meeting at 2, it's good for you to come at 2. Because I have other things that I'm doing, and I won't want you to keep delaying me and all that. So, oh, yes, I'm so sorry. I said, no problem, no problem. So we have the meeting. And it's, by the way, next time, I only wait for 5 minutes. By 2:05, I'm gone. So the next time they'll show up at 2:10, I won't be there. And then when we see each other the next day, they say, I'm so sorry. I said, no problem. No problem. You know, I told you I wouldn't be there. That's all right. No hard feelings. Let's reschedule. That's how I do it. That's how it's supposed to be done. So you don't get walked all over and you don't control them. They have a choice. They can come, they can do whatever they want to do, and you choose to also do what you need to do to continue your relationship and keep your sanity. Thank you. Yes, I'll take one more question. Let everybody has a sheet of paper now, so that's good. So while I'm talking, while I'm doing the next presentation, please write down your questions and give them out ahead of time so that I can have them at the next question time. Yeah, one more question, and then Martin has a question.
Following up on the question she just asked, now what do you do if you do tell the person but they still take on that behavior? Is stepping back then a form of conditional love? Like if you just realize that by you staying in this relationship, you're just hurting yourself?
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. So now, in the situation, if that person now is is someone that you're thinking of getting married to, okay, or building a business with, I will use business is easy, marriage is another one. If you are trying to build a relationship, long-lasting relationship with somebody like that who continues to show up late, and you have made up your mind that you are not going to be late for events. So what do you do with that relationship? It's your choice to make. So with such a relationship, it's your choice to make. If you think that fault in their life is a big problem for you to build a marriage relationship, then if big enough for you to stop it, then you stop it. If you think you can manage that, then you can. You choose to. It's your choice to make at that point. It's not supposed to be a deal breaker for everybody. So for some it is, for some it's not. And so if you choose, if you feel in your heart that, look, this is really going to work hard, we're not going to be able to serve together like this, then you can say, you know what we're going to do is this. Let's work together on your on your timing. But what I would advise is sit with them and tell them, if we continue to be late to everything, it's going to be negative for our relationship. And if we continue to have negativity in our relationship, we're not going to go forward. And I'm beginning to consider maybe we need to take a break if this is how we're going to do. But many people have many good things, and that may be their only weakness. And when I'm thinking of a long-lasting relationship, my first criteria is not their behavior. My first criteria is this person right for me? So if that person is right for me, then whatever their problems are, I look for ways to work around them. So that's it. But if it's a deal breaker for somebody, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I can't do this. This is too much for me. I'm not angry at you. We are still friends. But it's just not going to happen. I can't imagine going late to all our stuff. So usually they should work harder. If they are really in love with you, they work harder. Okay, very good. Let's move on. Write down the next set of questions. We're just going to go quickly. Someone's trying to stop me? No, okay. We're just going to go on two laws. Two laws, when you want to start thinking of unconditional love, two laws that must come to mind. Two laws. Now remember, I read earlier that Jesus was very strong on love, and all the apostles were. And there are two laws that if you look at the way they reacted and acted with people, you can see them there. The one is everyone has a right to choose what they say or do. Everyone has a right to choose what they say or do. That's the law of choices. Everyone. Everybody has a right. The second one is law of expectation. Law of expectation. You have no right to expect anyone to do something for you. Now, I have to let those things sink in because we're not used to that. We believe people don't have a right to do something. Everybody has a right. The only thing is that right stops when it comes to your right. So nobody has a right to violate your right, but they have a right to do whatever they want to do in their own space and in their own thing. And they have a right to say they don't like you. They have a right to say that, they don't want to be with you. They have a right to say your food is not good. they have a right. No? They have a right to do all that thing. Everybody has a right. Let it get into you that it has to be so. And I find that in God. I find that in God. Because God is so good, so big, and it still lets us do what we're going to do. You have a right to say, God, I hate you. You are not existing. I created myself. I evolved to the point that I am. You have a right to say, there's God. I believe in him. You have a right. You have a right to say, you know what, I have a right to do whatever I want to do and do it. God gives us that, and God loves us anyway. He says he is love. So I believe that God gives us a right, and he understands and flows with that role. The law of choices. Everyone has a right to choose what they say or do. The law of expectation. You have no right to expect anyone to do something for you, except they promise to. There's an exception to every law. When a person promises, if I say, I will give you a cup of water, then you have a right to expect me to give you a cup of water. Other than that, no right. Even if I've been doing it for the last 10 years, every day you walk in, the first thing I do is give you a cup of water. The next time, I still have a right not to give it to you. And you have no right to expect me to do it. This is why we have problems. Especially with those men. Because our wives like to care for us. Well, it's not everywhere. That you cannot generalize everything. But most men enjoy the care of their wives because women are just naturally nurturers. And so they care for you, take care of you, do that. And for some odd reasons, you assume because she's been doing it for the past 6 months, she's going to do it again. No. She has a right not to do it. Every time she does it, you have to appreciate it. So these are the two things. I want that to get in. Like just stick it in. Once you've taken that in, then we'll use that to really guide our discussions. If you just think about it, when last did you get angry about something? When last you get... So the guy shows up at 3 o'clock. You get very angry. Why? He has the right to not come at all. He has that right. He has the right to say, I'm coming and not show up. You have a right to do what you need to do to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's how it is. So there's no need to try to control other people's rights. And there's no need to expect anybody to do anything unless they promise to. So now the guy that says, I'm going to come at 3 o'clock, you have a right to say, okay, he's going to come. Because he promised to. And you can hold him to his promise. But he still has a right to not come. So now, once we've taken those laws in, then I want you to also understand these things, that the more unconditional love you have, the easier it is, or the more true love you have, the easier it is for you to love truly. So we're going to think about a story now. I'm going to give you an illustration. Imagine if you won $1 million, You won $1 million. And if you won $1 million, you won $1 million and you're sitting right here and you have $50 on your table and I'm hungry and I look at your $50, I watch you. The moment you turn like this, I pick it up and run. Okay? And you have $1 million. What would you do? You will most likely say, you know what? Let him have it. I'm not going to run around after a common thief. Is that not right? Most of us will do that. Some of us will chase after them because we are very principled people. We believe, you can't steal from me. Yeah, there are people like that. The principle is what they are against. How can you steal my stuff? And he's going to run after him and tackle him, end up breaking their neck in the process and waste all their million. But that's all right. Now, but if you've been hungry, you've been hungry 3 days, you've not had any food. And as you were coming in, someone saw you, told your story. I've been hungry for 3 days. And the guy says, oh, I pity you. Oh, wow, take this $50. Then you're sitting here with the $50. And you look away. And I pick the $50. When would you stop chasing me? Until you can't chase me anymore. You chase me into a hole if I go into the hole. Why? Because that's all you've got. That's all you've got. So the more love you have, the easier it is to you to give love. The more love you've got stored up, the more you give love. The more love you have, the less irritated you become. The less disappointed you become. So disappointment and irritation as a result of lack of love. When a person starts irritating you, it's because your love level is low. You are low on love. When you find yourself getting disappointed a lot in people, you are low on unconditional love. But the more of it you get yourself, the more you give. So personally, when I started out learning this stuff, I got all my unconditional love from God. I just meditated on the fact that God loves me regardless of who I was and who I am. And as I meditated on that, I began to enjoy that fullness. So how do you find people who will love you unconditionally? We'll look at that. How do I know that this person will love me unconditionally? And what if I'm the only one loving unconditionally? We're going to look at those. Not immediately, but as we discuss, all these things are going to come up. Now, action steps. Let's say somebody says, you know what, I want to start loving unconditionally. I want to get more unconditional love into my life. I want to be full of it. I want really to have at least one person in my life that I can say, you know, regardless of who I am, what I've done, what I've not done, I'm just going to get love from them. The first thing is make up your mind that you're going to guide it. That's have a desire. Have a desire to change. Now, the second thing I'm going to say is be patient. Okay? Be patient and have faith. Then the next thing is start telling the truth. Remove the masks. Start telling the truth. And the last one is give up any behavior for buying love. Give up all those negative behaviors. If you give them up, you begin to experience a brand new way that people will treat you. So have a desire to change. That's the first thing there. Accept that you have not really experienced a lot of unconditional love yourself. You need to think about it. Think about growing up. No, did I get unconditional love when my parents unconditionally loved me? Now, they are not to blame. I'm not blaming them. I'm saying that they didn't get it, so they couldn't give it. And their parents didn't get it, so they couldn't give it. And we've been going like that. And we're thinking to study about getting unconditional love and giving it. And if we do that, we're going to bring it to the next generation, and they're going to get some level of unconditional love. So if you know you've not been, then accept it. Accept it. The next thing is believe that it is possible to have it and choose to have it. I've been teaching this for a while, and every time I teach this, I know that there are people there who say to me, it is not going to happen. I cannot get anybody that will love me unconditionally. Why? Because they've been so drained. And they've learned so much of conditional love that they can't see it happening. But you know what? Just have faith and make it an effort. And then determine to work as hard as it takes. Determine to work. Try to be here every day this weekend. Listen to this message over and over again. There are some books I'm going to recommend. Read them, and you begin to see a difference. That's why I started with the beginning. How is your relationship? If you're not doing well, make up your mind. I want to assure you, anyone who practices this thing, your relationship will move up. It will move to the next level. It's foolproof. Amen. Foolproof. It will happen. Okay? So determine to work as hard as it takes. Determine. The next thing, be patient and have faith. It's not going to change overnight. It took a few years to get here. Have faith that you can learn to love. And have faith that people around you are not all trying to hurt you. Now, it's true there are people around who are really, really going to hurt. They are psychopaths. But there are not many. Praise God. They exist, but you hardly come to meet them. Most people that you see are only looking for love themselves. Most people you see are only looking for love themselves. So now, let's get to the first point, one of the big points, how to tell the truth. That's it. When do you start telling the truth? You just make up your mind. I'm going to start telling the truth. I'm going to start telling the truth. You make up your mind. The first thing, resist every temptation to lie. Now, when I'm talking about lie, I'm talking about lying about anything. Because lying is what you use to buy love. So make up your mind. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Where are you going to? Tell them where you were going to. What have you been doing? That's what I've been doing. You know, Christians, sometimes when we don't know, or we don't have a strong background, strong faith, we go to the office and someone says to us, Where have you been this weekend? Instead of us to say, I was at church, we say, yeah, just hanging out. Tell it as it is. If they don't like people that go to church, then they don't like people that go to church. It's not a problem. Remember when I was in Concordia just as a student, one woman said, there's this company, they're always reading, they're having Bible studies sometimes there. It's such a bad company. I said, I would love that company. I love Bible studies. A few minutes later, he said, I do Bible studies also. Everybody wants to be loved. She wanted to be loved because I was confident in my skin. She needed to shift to whatever I like so that she can continue to get my love. But she didn't know is that I don't really care what she believes. I still love her anyway. I still love her anyway. But most people won't love you anyway. There are people that see you because you believe in something. The moment they see you, they never talk to you, never met with you. They're angry at you. They're angry at you because you walked out of a church. They're angry at you because your hair is the way it is. They're angry at you because you're wearing a blue shirt. Tell them I love blue. My best color is blue. If you don't like it, that's all right. There are other people on this planet that like blue. You got to know that. Look, if you like yourself, there are many like you. You don't need 100 friends. 6 good friends are enough. If you go to anybody and see, do you have really up to 6 people who love you unconditionally? Many people can't count up to 6. So you don't have a problem looking for everybody to be your friend. Just be yourself and you're going to begin to attract people who like you for who you are. So you're going to tell the truth. Resist lies. Resist. Say, no, I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to lie about that. Did you read your Bible today? Say, no, I didn't. I didn't read my Bible even though I'm a pastor. Yeah, I didn't read my Bible. Nothing's going to happen. Because you didn't read it. If you read it, say you read it. Tell the truth about how you feel. How you feel. Tell the truth about it. Tell the truth about your fears. Now, if you're in a relationship, share that. I discovered that in many relationships, people don't share how they feel. Sometimes they don't share what they're afraid of. Especially with the men, Got to be the man. Got to be the man. Now, if you got to be the man, you're going to suffer alone. Share a little bit. This is what I'm scared of. Tell the truth about your mistakes, your errors, your weaknesses. Tell the truth about your getting and protecting behaviors, the things you do to get love and to keep love. Tell the truth about them. As you begin to tell the truth, what will happen is you begin to feel loved. Every time someone loves you for who you are, you feel loved. Imagine if you came in here with a mask. Maybe you went to the arts department in Concordia or in McGill, and they did a fantastic mask for you, and it looks like you. Then you come in here and tell us, that your name is John. And we know you as John. We say, wow, and you pretend to be very funny, and then we all love John. We say, John, you are great. John, you are wonderful. John, you are so handsome. John, you are our best friend. We want to be with John all the time. When that John goes home, because his real name is Kevin, he's going to be very sad. Kevin, inside that John is going to be very sad. Why? Because we don't love Kevin. We don't know Kevin. And he doesn't know how we're going to react to Kevin. He's going to be sad. Now, there's so many of us going all around with John's face, all over our face, and calling ourselves John. That's why when people love you, you don't feel the love. Why? Because you're showing up as a screen. There's a screen there. Take off the screen. Let's love the real person. That's what you got to do. Tear down all those masks. Tear down all those masks. As you tear down the masks, you begin to feel real love. Now, next step, after you tell the truth, then you stop using all those getting and protecting behaviors. I talked about that. It may not happen suddenly. Be aware of it. Tell the truth to your secular friends. Try to love unconditionally. Try again. So the first step, after you make up those things, then find one person, just one. Start with one person whom you can start with. You know, for those who are of us who go to a church where you have access to your pastor, they are the best to start with. Or if you have a counselor, you paid for it. No, that doesn't feel as much, but it's still better because you can tell the truth. You know, but you need someone that you don't pay. You know, someone that you just go to them and begin to tell them some truth, and begin to tell. You don't reveal all your truth at once, because you don't know how they're going to handle it. But you start, you just start telling the truth. You can't just announce, by the way, I've killed 3 people. How are we going to deal with that? So you just, start telling the truth. And once you've done that, one person, your confidence level grows. You feel a little bit more loving and loved. Then you can approach your life and then go back. And for those of us as Christians, I want to encourage you. You're born again. You know Christ. You can build up your love level in your own home without meeting anyone. You just remember. God loves me. God loves me. God loves me, and I know He loves me because He paid to die on the cross for me. And I'm significant, and I know who I am, so I receive that love, and I'm loved. And because He loved me unconditionally, I'm going to love everybody I meet unconditionally. I'm not going to attack anybody. I'm not going to lie to anyone. I'm not going to try to complain and be a victim. I'm not going to try to run away from them so that they can run after me. I'm just going to love them, just like I've been loved. If you do that, you begin to build up. Then when you find somebody a human being that you can see and touch, that's also that you're going to build up. And after a while, you discover that you're beginning to love. Now, even if you're in a marriage and the marriage is struggling, you just find love outside marriage. Once the love is strengthening, I don't mean go find a man if you're a woman, or a woman if you're a man. No, don't do that. That's dangerous. You find God, or you find a pastor, or a counselor, and start from there. I'm going to take some questions because of our time, and tomorrow we'll take it off from there and break it down a little bit. We're going to talk about how to really express love as a man, to a woman, to a female. First your spouse, and outside that, we're going to talk about the differences. We've talked about the big principles now. We're going to break it a little bit down. And use real-life examples and just talk about some of these things, and you'll see how it works, and answer some more questions. So I'm going to take questions. If you have questions, let's take about 3 or 4 of them, because we just have about 5 more minutes. Questions? Anybody has questions now? If you've written down, we're going to collect them. I would like... I would have loved us to do an exercise because of time, which is just learning to tell the truth. Maybe we can do that. We take 2-3 more minutes. If there are no questions, that's what we'll do. We'll take an exercise. Because when you have the opportunity to really tell somebody, whether you know them or not, something truthful about you, it builds you. It builds you when you have an opportunity to tell somebody something truthful about you. Not something too embarrassing, but something truthful. Do you have something? Yes.
I would like to know how to manage to keep showing unconditional love in a fraternal communion. Because usually when we talk about fraternal communion, we talk about sharing to each other. So we're not supposed to be just in one direction. So how we keep showing unconditional love in this atmosphere.
Yeah, so you're talking about an atmosphere of brothers and sisters?
Yeah.
How do we continue to show love? That's okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so from what I get from that question is, if one is, you're loving somebody and you're sharing, so sharing is one way. Yeah. Sharing is not the only way to show love. Another way is to, just listen to the other person and hear them. Another way is to stand with them through their errors. Someone made a mistake, you go with them in the mistake and get them up. Go with them through the problem. I remember going to Kingston Penitentiary several times to go get people out, help them, stand them up. There are so many ways. There are so many basic ways. And what I would like us to look at with regards to what I've been talking about is that even when we're in that kind of a group, we must determine that our love relation, our heart's feelings towards the other is in no way diminished by their activities. That's what I'm talking about. The heart position that you have towards another is not diminished in any way by their behavior. Your actions will change depending on the situation, but the way you feel towards them and want to help them should not change. That's what makes it unconditional. That's what makes it unconditional. I hope I touched on your questions. Thank you. Yes? Any other? Any other? That's it? Okay. So maybe if there's no other question, maybe we'll just take 2-3 minutes. Just talk to somebody not too far from you. Get to connect with them just for a few minutes. You don't need to say anything serious. Just get to meet someone and share one truth. No lies. Just one truth with them. Maybe I say something, talk to someone about something that didn't go really well today. Something that didn't go really well today. And it's something that may, it's not something so that makes you look too good. No, it doesn't make you look too bad either. High level discussion, but at least say something to somebody, that's all. Just say something to somebody. Get some love. Get some love. Say something. How was your day? Your day? Yeah, whatever didn't feel so good today. Whatever didn't feel so good today. Make sure you find somebody. Make sure you find somebody. Just love somebody today. Love somebody today. Yes. Love somebody. Does everybody have the feedback form? Let everybody get it. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell some truths. We have some feedback forms. So I'd like you to tell us the truth as it really is. We're going to ask you to tell us what you liked most today and what you liked the least. Feel free to tell us the truth. And tomorrow we'll be here again. We'll start exactly at 7. The program says 7 to 9, but we'll try to finish. We try to finish early today because I know there's work tomorrow. And some people have tomorrow. We may go a little bit longer. And if you're in this place, you're visiting this church for the first time, you've never been, we want to welcome you especially. I want to welcome you. If this is your first time of ever having a meeting with us, you're welcome. We meet on Sundays in this same cinema, but not this room. And we'd like you to come visit us on Sunday. and we would have some special gifts for you also. So feedback, please let us know how it's been today. Maybe what you say today would help us prepare tomorrow. If it's something we can still adjust, if not, for the next meeting. Also, during the advertisement, we let you know that you get to pay what you want. So that's all right. If you have brought something to pay or to give towards this, there's going to be envelopes being given out. You can do that. If you're writing a check, write it to Overcomers Assembly. If you need a pen, yeah, pen is available. Don't forget to give it back. So just give feedback. Just give feedback, and don't please practice. Practice. I'm sure between now and tonight and midnight, before you go to bed, you will have some opportunities to lie, to attack somebody, to complain, to act like a victim, to run away and resist those temptations and ask God for help. Ask God for help. We believe that God is love. We believe that He's shown that love to us in the person of Jesus, and we trust Him. We trust Him. And I want to tell you, no matter how hard and tough your spouse, your partner is, if you choose to walk in this, it will impact them. It will change them. Nobody can begin to get true love and not change. Because that's what they've been looking for all their lives. That's what they've been looking for all their lives. So we just ask you, please, before you leave, fill out those forms for us. It's not going to take long. Just quick 1, 2, 3 sentences. And we would pray and let you be on your way. We can still answer questions if there is any. We can still answer questions if there's any. If there's none. I want to also mention that, when we have, this same presentation, I can do it in an office where everybody is not a Christian. That's no problem. But when we're doing a presentation in the church, so we can also tap into the other things that we have, which is the power of God. So if anybody is in a situation where, you know that you're really going through difficulties and you would like us to pray with you, that's also available. For Saturday night, we're going to spend good time, myself and several pastors. We're going to be here praying with people on Saturday night. You must try to be there if you know you're going through some really challenging times in your marriage, your situation, your relationship, even if it's with parents, and you want us to pray with you. We would be praying with you on Saturday. Tomorrow, we'll be here. Bring your friends. You've already tasted of it. Bring your friends. And so I think I'm going to just close the meeting with prayer. If you don't mind, could we pray? Dear Father, thank you for this time. We've spoken your word, and we've begun to open up some discussions on the area of love and things that really call to your heart. So Lord, I pray that as we go home, you begin to show us all those things that need to change, and also give us the power to change. I pray, oh God, that each one of us would encounter just that difference. These 3 days, you will bring a brand new life into our relationships again. Pray for everyone to go home safely, come back safely tomorrow. Those who need to be here, bring them. Let us all go back loving truly and not just conditionally. Thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless you. Don't forget to give, and see you tomorrow.